888-866-5222.
Hi, I'm Sam Payne, host of The Appleseed, an hour filled with stories for you and your family. And we're not talking about news stories here. We're talking about fairy tales and folk tales and personal stories and family tales and even a little music from time to time. And each story could spark a memory for you that you can share with the people that you love. Hear The Appleseed every Thursday at noon, right here on the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, KSJE, Farmington, New Mexico.
$8:50 a.m. Monday morning here on KSJE, and it's time for our Monday Reboot segment. That's when I get to talk technology with my guest, Lewis Campbell from Cintigy Computer Systems here in Farmington. Lewis is joining us remotely this morning, but there he is. We can see him, and we should be able to hear him. Lewis, good morning.
Good morning.
There he is.
We got a couple more bars into our jazzy theme music this morning. I'm really digging the theme music, I got to tell you.
There you go. Well, that's it. So good. I'm glad you like it. So perfect. How have you been? What's going on this week? What are you noticing?
Oh, there's a couple of interesting things going on. So last time we talked about the NASA mission to basically crash something into a moonlet of an asteroid. Well,
yes.
That went off well. That happened. They broadcasted it online. Everybody saw it. It was, they took an impactor vehicle that is about the size of a vending machine.
Right.
Sorry about that, folks.
Oh, someone's calling you to tell you they're seeing you on
and I can't seem to. There we go.
on the radio.
About the size of a vending machine, and they smashed into an asteroid and got all kinds, or moonlet of an asteroid and got all kinds of data. So
yeah,
this is like you said before, this is in preparation for us hoping that we can defend ourselves if we ever get an asteroid like coming our way in a bad way. So,
right and afterwards, though, I don't think they had the data yet, right? They've smashed it into this thing, right? But then they wanted to wait and kind of see if it actually did push it off of its trajectory, and now I think enough time has elapsed that they at least have some preliminary data to say yes, it did what they hoped it would do, right?
Yep.
Good. Well, that's good.
And they're still analyzing, though. They're also looking at. They're saying in next month they're going to look at a lot of telescope data from the asteroid. So we still got about a month away before they get, the majority of the data they need to look at the trajectory. But they're hopeful, and they said everything went well for
Good.
the test.
Well, that's exciting, and again, go Earth, I suppose, right? It's a win for planet Earth. Okay. Very good. What else have you been noticing the last week or so? I was trying to remember some of the things. It's funny. I'll read something and I'll say I need to talk to Lewis about that, and then of course on the show my mind is blank, so I need to kind of.
Yeah, I go through the same thing. Well, Elon Musk is back in the news, right? He unveiled his prototype of a humanoid Optimus robot. This was
right.
Tesla's AI day, right? So. Like a lot, I don't know how many people out there have actually watched Elon Musk's unveilings, but they tend to be, you'd think Elon Musk, and the way the press makes it sound, that that you'd think that they all go off without a hitch, but actually his unveilings usually kind of,
right.
So I remember with the all electric truck, he got all excited and he's like, yeah, and the windows are smash proof, and he had somebody try to bust the window, and it wasn't supposed to break, but it did.
Yeah. Whoops.
So the humanoid robot came out, and he showed it, in a deconstructed form. It walked forward and did a couple of dance moves, and then he said, well, they wanted to keep it safe and not have it make too many moves, so it didn't really do much.
Right.
But, he promised that it's going to do a lot more.
Okay. And this is kind of this creepy. I mean, anything that has a humanoid form looks a little creepy. That's a robot, right? But the idea is that I suppose it could be programmed to do a lot of different things that humans could do, and that's the idea, right?
Yeah, they talked about a lot of different things that
Okay.
humans could do. I have to say some of them were, not age appropriate. It's like, really, you're going to talk on stage about a robot doing that?
Okay.
But the other thing too, people, again, it was a deconstructed robot, so it didn't really have like, it wasn't like the fully formed. And then they brought out another one that was just a prototype with its body quote unquote fully assembled. But that one, a lot of the takeaway from this was people thinking like, this kind of looked kind of strange. They were a little creepy looking, but
Right.
I'm not trying to put down Elon Musk. It's just these unveilings are kind of interesting. The bottom line is we have to wait and see really what they're going to come up with in the future.
Sure. And I guess like all of this stuff though, right? I mean, it's certainly someone's taking this step, right? Someone's doing the R&D and investing in the money to make these prototypes or maybe these products, just like the early electric cars, I would suppose, the early Teslas. They're investing in this type of technology and bringing it to the market and making it somewhat affordable. Folks might argue with that, but it's a company that is doing the work, right? The heavy lifting, I suppose, and not with a robot.
That's the key, right? I mean, just as kind of like, back in the Industrial Revolution days, the Dale Carnegies of the world and stuff, these, insanely rich people that just decided, we're going to do things to advance a
Right.
lot of this stuff that nobody else really has the power to do. And so, I go back and forth personally about people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, because, I get, sometimes I'm for them, sometimes against them, but you can't deny that a lot of what they're doing is advancing things that otherwise either wouldn't be advanced or would require government funding to advance. Right?
True.
So things like SpaceX, things like the electric vehicles, Teslas, and of course now the AI. So I think
Yeah.
ultimately this is kind of a cool thing that
Very
we
true.
have people that are willing to do this.
Very true. And the fact that at 2 a.m. you can go online and order a box of Band-Aids and it'll get delivered in 2 days.
Yep.
We now have that.
There you go.
So,
By a drone. It'll
Or
fly
a
over
drone
your house and
or
pop
something.
it on your patio.
Perhaps that could still be coming, so we will see. And so the other thing I'm noticing too, one more story I wanted to mention too here, because we talked about this I think before, but the Supreme Court is back in session today. I think is their first day, and they are dealing with the issue about should tech companies have immunity over problematic user content. This is from NBC News, and they're talking about, I think we've heard of this before, Section 230 of the Communications Act saying internet companies aren't liable for content posted by users. And so there's issues about, if they should be held liable. This is a case involving YouTube and an American woman who was killed in France, I believe, in 2015. And the family says that maybe YouTube and videos posted on YouTube kind of fanned the flames of some of those issues. This is part of the Communications Decency Act, I should say, this Section 230. But that's what we're talking about. I know you were searching for it frantically as I was mentioning it. So
no, the Supreme Court has got a lot in their docket. We're getting ready to see another whole round of things by the Supreme Court, and it's anybody's guess to see what a lot of this stuff is going to come out on the Supreme Court. Is regardless of what your opinion is as to whether this is good or bad, they have their first round of stuff after they had their new gained their new super majority. They did a lot of they're making a lot of changes.
That's true, but I think a lot of
looks to me like they're going to be doing some more of that. And then there's a lot of political hay around Section 2. The only reason I say that is because there's a lot of political hay around Section 230. So
right. Well, all the internet, like this would affect YouTube and Twitter and Facebook if they were held liable for the content that their users posted, and they really don't want to be, understandably so, because people post a lot of problematic things on social media. But having someone decide it, like a Supreme Court, would really be, I think, helpful.
Yeah, and like I said, there's political hay around it. There's people that want, there's people out there that want to hold social media companies, accountable for more than just, pornography or whatever, for political speak.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, where the Supreme Court lands on this.
Very true. Very true. Well, Lewis, we're just about out of time this week, but thank you for your time. Always good to talk to you.
Hey, thanks everybody. Have a great week.
All right. You too. Thank you. That's Lewis Campbell. He joins me every Monday from Cintigy Computer Systems for our Monday Reboot segment right here on KSJE Farmington.
Hey everyone, it's your host for the World Beat Show, Scott Duran, and I want you to join me every Saturday at 11 a.m., where I take you on a journey around the world and show you traditional and modern style world beat music. Music from Africa, Spain, France, Japan, China, heck, even songs and artists from the United States itself. So join me every Saturday at 11 a.m.